Hello friends, welcome once again to Taxonomy Online Mathematics. We want to provide an answer to this question on trigonometry function or trig graph. If this is your first time of seeing this video, please subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell to receive alert or notification anytime a new video is uploaded. Like the video if you have not, then don't forget to leave your comment after you finish watching. So we have a question as in this form. Copy and complete the table for the value of this. So y, this is the function sine x plus what? 2 cos x. So our function we are working with will be y equals to, this is the function we are working with. That is what we are using to complete this table. And we are completing it to correct what? 1 decimal place. So you can see the answers given to you is only 1 decimal place. So the moment you are asked to complete this, it means that you are not solving for all. You are only solving for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right away, you can use calculator to do that by going into the function. But since we are solving this by solving, I will leave that and do that video later. So what I need is that I need the values of x to fill these spaces. So what will I do? I am going to replace x in the cos and the sine with the empty values of x. So here will be 0. So it means to find the value of this place is going to be 0 and this place is going to be 0. And we know that sine 0 is 0. Cos 0 is 1. 1 times 2 will be 2. Only 2. But we can leave that in 2.0. Don't forget we have to leave our answer in 1 decimal place. So there should be a 0.0 as 1 decimal place. Then we go straight forward with 60. 30 is already given, so we go to what? 60. So in place of x here, it becomes sine 60 plus 2 cos 60. And sine 60 is also 0.8660. So here is going to be 0.8660 plus 2. Then if you have that of cos 60, that is half. So 0.5. So you get 1. And if you add that, you get 1.8660. Writing in 1 decimal place, this will be converted to 9. So I'll be having 1.9 as my value. That is not all. We are going straight forward to what? 90. So if I take sine 90, as in this place, I have what? 1. Then cos 90 will also be 0. So the answer is just what? 1. So 1.0 will be for the value of y when x is 90. Alright. Then let's go to 120. Sine 120 will give us 0.68660. Then cos will also give us the value of what? Negative. So that is going to be negative half. And negative half don't forget it is plus, but negative half of this will multiply our 2. So I believe the negative half will now become what? Negative 1. So this minus 1 will give us 0.3134, but negative. 1 is bigger than this, so we get negative value. So that is going to be negative 0.1 to 1 decimal place. Only 1 decimal place, so I get 0.1. Let's finish it up with 210. So if I have 210, sine 210 will be negative 0.5. Then that of sine cos 210 will also give you the same thing, but negative. Multiplying by that will give us our negative 1.7321. So if you compute this, it increases to give you negative 2.2 3, 2, 1. So obviously we are having negative 2.2. So the complete table, don't forget you have to copy and complete. So you draw the table again. After solving, fix in the values that are missing. Then if you are done, then your table is now complete. Then you can think of what? Solving the other aspect, which says that we are using this. We will solve this on a graph, so let me leave that part. We have to use the graph, if solved, to find the value of this and that of this. So it means the question down here will be solved on the graph sheet. So come along with me as we put this information on the graph to see how best we can solve that. Okay, so for the graph, what we do is that we already know that our graph for the values on the x-axis span from 0 to 240 with an interval of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So even if I start from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that will be the values on the x-axis. Since there is no negative values, I shift my graph from the middle to the left. Then for the y-axis, we can see positive 2, negative 2.2. So it means that the graph on the y-axis will be on equal interval. So we know that the interval every 2 centimeter box is 12. So I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then on the 6th one is where I'll draw my x-axis. So putting my x-axis, I'll be using pen. We don't use pen in drawing, but for visibility sake, I'll use the pen. So if I have this line being drawn representing the x-axis, is a number line, so you put your arrow and the x-axis indicated. Then I'll be drawing my y-axis as well. That also is a number line, so y, we enclose it. All right. So what we are to do is that we are to demarcate. The question gave us that we have 2 centimeter to 30 degrees on the x-axis. Then 2 centimeter to 0.5 degree on the y-axis. We know 2 centimeter is the bigger box. So if 2 centimeter to 30, then it means from here to here, we know the origin will be 0. Here is going to be our 30 degrees. The next will be 60 in that order. That is for the x-axis. Then if I want that of the y-axis, we are told 2 centimeter is 0.5. So the bigger box is going to be 0.5. So if the first one is 0.5, 0.5 plus 0.5 will give you 1.0. Then 1.5, 2.5. No, this will be 2.0. Then we have 2.5. Similarly, negative 0.5, negative 1.0, negative 1.5. Then we have our negative 2.0. Then finally, we have our negative 2.5. So the axes are well labeled. Now we need to put in the values that we have from the table. And from the table, when x is 0, y is 2.0. So 0 is the origin. I'll move on the y-axis, positive y-axis, to see what the 2.0 will be, then I am going to indicate that as a point. Then 30 will also be 2.2. Now we need to get the values. If you check, you will see that the interval between 0 and 30, there are how many different lines? There are 10 different lines. So it means we'll be dividing the 30 by the 10. So if you divide 30 by 10, you get what? 3. That simply means that each of the small lines is 3. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 in that order. 10 of them will give you 30. If I come on the y-axis also, the interval is 10. So it will be 0.5 over what? 10. And that will also give us 0.05. So it means each of the boxes on the y-axis will will expand 0.05. You know 0.05 plus 0.05 give you 0.10. Which means every 2 centimeters will give me 0.10. Good. So if I am looking for 30, which is already here, then 2.2. 2 is here. The first line will be 2.05. Here will be 2.1. Then the next will be what? 2.2. So I'll be marking this line to me my 2.2. This is 1, 2. This is 1, 2. So it should be here. It should be 4. Let's ignore the top. All right. Then this is going to be 60, 1.9, 60. This is 1. This is what? 2. So 0.9 will be subtraction of 0.10. You get that point. We are moving to 90, which will be 1.0. And 1.0 is somewhere here. You mark. 120 will be negative 0.1. Negative 0.1. Don't forget, smaller box is 0.05. The next smaller box will give us our 0.1. 150 will give us negative 1.2. So I mark. 180 will also be 2.0, but negative 2.0. So this will be at this point. Let's check that of 210, negative 2.2. 2 is here. 0.1, 0.2. So I indicate that. Then we go for 240, which is 1.9 negative. So this is 2. When I take away 0.1, I will get here. So in order to, it's a curve. So I am going to join my point. This thing will take your time and make sure the lines actually form a curve. Don't forget, in this we use pencil, but because for you to see clearly, that is why I'm using the red pen, so that visibility will be clear. So if you use pen, if there's any pencil, if there's any correction, you can easily clean that out. We don't do double line as I'm doing. I'm doing that to make the line visible for you to see. So this will be our curve for the graph. All right, so the moment we are able to do this, you go straight to the question aspect. They say use your graph to solve sine x plus 2 cos x equals 0. Don't forget our function is y equals to sine x plus 2 cos x. So this is the graph we draw. It is this function. So anything we find for x will be the solution. So we need that. So I will compare the equation this with my original equation, which is sine x plus 2 cos x. If you compare, that is by subtraction, you see this and this are the same. They will cancel. To me, you are only left with y equals what? 0. This will cancel this if by subtraction. This will cancel this. So y will be equal to 0. Meaning you are going to go to the graph. Let's use the graph. So y equals to 0 is here. So where does that line cut the curve or touch the curve? Simply put, where the curve or the graph cuts the x-axis, that place is your value of x, which will be on the x-axis. We explained earlier on that each line is 3. So if 3 is here, if I take away 3 from 120, if you take away 3 from 120, you'll be having let's say 120 minus 3, that will be 117. So it means that comparing this, when y equals 0, from the graph, x will be equals to 117 degrees. So the value of x will be 117 degrees if you compare. Then the second one, don't forget we've already drawn the graph. So any other equation given to you must be rewritten or rearranged to look like the original. So this is having sine equals to. So I am going to bring in the cos, which is negative from here, to become positive. So sine x plus 2 cos x equals to 2.1. So comparing with our y equals to sine x, 2 cos x, we can see this and this is the same. 2 cos x, 2 cos x, they will cancel out. So you'll be left with only y equals to 2.1. Y equals to 2.1. So you go to the graph. Where is y equals to 2.1? On the y-axis, positive y-axis, 2 is here. 0.5, so 0.1 is there. So you are going to draw a line. You see, this one have a line that cuts the x-axis. We have to draw this one. From that line, preferably a broken line. So where does it cut the x-axis? You draw. Where does it cut the curve? You draw a line from there to meet your x-axis. Also a broken line with an arrow. This also move down. With an arrow. So simply put, from the graph, when y equals to, so you're right, you compare everything, so your solution is going to be from the graph. When y equals to 2.1, x will be equals to, let's go. We know it is 3. Every box is 3, so 3, 6, 9. So we have 9 degrees, and we have another one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 30 will give you what? 45. So that will also give us 45 degrees. I believe we have gotten the concept. So the final aspect is find y when x is 171 degrees. So you go to the graph. Where can you locate 171? This is 150, so 180. If I take away 3 from here, I'll be having, if you take away 3 from 180, you have 177. So that is the first one. If you take away 3 again, 174. I believe so. That is this one. So 1, 2, the third one will be 171. So first, second, third.
The third line from there will be 171. So I draw a line to meet my curve. Then continue to bring it from the curve to the x-axis, preferably a broken line. So that is the arrow. So now I need to find the value on the y-axis there. If we check, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm having 6. So that means 0.05 times what? 6. There are 6 lines. So we multiply as if there is no decimal point. That will be 30. Then 1, 2. So 1, 2. 0.3. The 0.3 is what we are adding to this, right? We are adding that to the 1.5. That will give us 1.8. But don't forget it's negative. So to sum out that, when x is 171, y is going to be negative 1.8. You write it from the graph. When x is 171, then y is going to be negative 1.8. I believe you follow the concept. Now, there is not much difference between this and a quadratic graph. The difference will be the curve, how the curve will be plotted, and how you substitute the values into the trig functions and onto the quadratic. Now, when you are done, you need to give title to the graph. So we know this is the graph of the function. Graph of the function y equals to sine x plus 2 cos x. You need to also state the scale that you use. So it's going to be 2 centimeters to what? 30 degrees on x-axis. Then 2 centimeters to 0.5 on y-axis. So title will be given. Then the scale. This will be a perfect representation of the question given to us. If you follow this, please share with your colleagues, like the video, comment. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel Taxonomy Online Mathematics, so that anytime a video is uploaded, you'll be the first to see it. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.